In this video, I'll show you exactly how to recreate this design from scratch. It's scroll triggered, so the elements react as I scroll down and up again. And I've honestly never seen this type of animation before. And when you combine it with this cool mobile section down here, it really makes your site stand out. And here is another example, but this time it's just about camping instead. So same design but different topic. And by the way, this is also responsive, as you can see here. But to be honest, this template took me 4 full workdays to create, and normally this is actually a paid template. So if this video helps you, then please send some love in the comments. To recreate this, you'll need a few things. So in the description below, you'll find these free materials, including the images, the classes, but most importantly, the codes. And later in this video, I'll also break down how to edit and customize this design so you can reuse it on your own projects. So let me reveal how to achieve this, but before we begin, I want you to know that you can also choose to skip everything and click down here, and then you suddenly have access to all the juicy stuff. And if you click here, you will download the template, and then you simply go to your new site and then drag the template in, and there you go. That's how easy it is. But for those of you who just want to build this from scratch, let's go inside our WordPress installation and create a new page to get started. So let's click Edit with Elementor. And make sure you don't have any pre-made header or footer. To remove these, go to Page Settings and scroll down to Page Layout and choose Elementor Canvas. Great, there you go. So inside here, we'll create the entire design without skipping any steps. So first step is to create a container. So drag this container in and make sure over here that it's set to full width. And inside this container, we'll drag in a new container. So I click up here, add element, and drag in the next container. This container will be our hero section. Make sure this container is set to boxed over here, and then go inside style, and then choose this gradient background type. And now we need to go to the link in the description below, this one, where you will find all the resources. So click on color and copy the first color code here. Insert the color code up here, and then just go back again to copy the other red one and insert it down here. The first number here should be set to 0, and down here it should be 72. Then choose radial here and then go inside advanced, and up here in margin unlink these and write 60 but with a minus in front. Then let's scroll down and find this CSS class, and you don't need to know anything about code, you just need to insert. So go to the resource link again and find classes and copy the first hero section here and insert it here. This will make sense later. Okay, great job so far. But I can see that we have some spacing over here and here that I want to get rid of. So find the first container up here and then go inside the advanced and make sure that padding down here is untoggled. And now you can see the spacing is gone over here and here. Alright, so the next step is important, because if you right click and find structure, you will see this overview of all the containers, and I'll keep this open throughout the video so you can compare it to your own structure. And I'll also rename every container so it's easier. This will save you a lot of time. So the first container here is just called page, and the next one is hero. Okay, so let's add some real content here inside. So go over to the plus icon and drag in a new container and rename this container content. And over here, make sure it's full width, and in height, you will have to choose this pen down here and then write 100 and DVH, which stands for dynamic view height. And then down here, just make sure to center content. Then go inside advanced, and here in padding, unlink these and write 250, and the other one should just be 10. And inside set index, you'll write 3. This will also make sense later. So here we have the next CSS class. So go back to the resource link and copy the next class section and go back and insert it here. I'll just quickly close down all these other tabs so they don't confuse me. Alright, so now let's add my favorite image. So go to the plus icon and drag in the image. Click choose image, and now you have to go to the resource link and download this image pack by clicking here, and then you'll get the zip file including this folder. But I've actually already uploaded all these images to my media library, so I'll just choose this image. Make sure the resolution down here is set to full and then go inside style and make sure the width is 85. Then let's go to advanced. Let's unlink this and write 200 but minus in front. Then go down to set index and give it 2. Now let's make this image animate. This is actually really cool. So go back to the resource link and find this extra CSS code. Then copy this. You don't need to know anything about code, just copy it and go back and then scroll all the way down to custom CSS here, insert it. There you go. Now you can see it's actually moving. Okay, next step is to add the heading like you can see here. So I'll go up to the plus icon and find heading and drag it in. Sure, it's inside this content container. Then you just write clouds and then go into style and center it. And the font should be Anton and set the font size to 330. And down here in transform, choose uppercase. Then let's change the color so it's white and then go inside advanced and up here in margin, untoggle this, write 430 but with a minus in front. So now it's exactly behind the image. Okay, so let's publish and take a look at the live preview. Great, so the next part of this video is going to be a bit more complicated because as you can see here on the final result, we are going to create a lot of more containers. First, the header, including all these containers, and then all of this CSS and JavaScript stuff down here. So if you become too overwhelmed, just know that you can still just download this template. This is of course a paid feature, but it's just so much easier to edit a template than to build it from scratch that like we are doing right now. That being said, let's continue and create the header. So we want the header to be above everything else. So make sure to find this plus icon up here at the first container and click plus icon again and create flexbox. And this time you need to choose the 2 containers. Great. So go inside advanced and unlink this and give it a bottom margin of 110 but with a minus in front. And down here in set index, give it 99. So now you can see it's in front of everything else. Then let's just rename this container header. And now let's insert some content. So we go to the left container over here and drag in an image. So I'll take this widget and drag it in here and then choose the image from the image pack, the logo, which is this one, and go into style and align it to the left, and the width should just be 33. Okay, inside the other container, we'll add a menu and a button like this. But to save some time, I'll just create a temporary menu and then we can swap it out later. So search for lists and drag this in and make sure it's horizontal and remove all of these items. The first one here, I'll just remove the icon only and then just write home. Copy this and write services, our work, and about us. Then go into style and change the font. I like to use this one, but you can use any one, and make sure the weight is 500. And then let's just change the colors so we can see it to white. Then let's add in a call to action button. So I'll just click the plus icon and search for button, drag it in and write start a project. And let's just change the icon. I'll choose this one and the position should be end, and then go into style and let's just change the font to the same as the other one. And weight should be 500, and let's just change the background color to white, and the text should be the same as the background. So I'll just click this sampler and click anywhere and copy this color. Now we just need the button to align with the menu up here. So click on this container and make sure the direction is set to right and set to end, and also center content. Now we have a menu. Alright, now it's time to something cool, and that's these cards. We need to add them to the hero section and make them scroll triggered. So let's do that. But first, maybe I should mention that this template is a bit more complicated than all my other templates, as you can see here. But I'm not holding anything back with this one. So if it's too overwhelming, let's take a look at all the other templates. Okay, let's go back and continue. So let's go to the structure over here and close everything down so we have a nice clean overview. Like this. Okay, then scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on the plus icon here to create a new container and make sure it's set to full width. I forgot this at some point and it messed up everything. Great. So inside this container, we'll need all the code. So I'll go ahead and click the plus icon up here and search for HTML and drag this one in and then right click and duplicate it. So there's 2. Then let's rename this one code and this one CSS. Alright, let's start with the last one here, the HTML code. So go to the resource link and find code and copy the first one here, the HTML. Find this copy button over here and click copy, go back and insert it. Then let's go to the CSS up here, this one, still empty, and go inside resources and scroll down to copy the CSS code and go back and insert it. One thing that's really important is the placement of the code. So we actually need to move this container. So close down this hero and make sure that this is also closed, and then drag this above hero. So now it's actually inside page. You can see if I close page, you can see it, which means that it's inside page. But that's not all, because this HTML code should actually not be here. You need to take it out. I know this is a bit weird. And then you need to drag it in again. So now you can see this CSS is a bit more to the left side, and this is all the way out. So actually, if I close code, it's not inside code, it's inside page now. So I know it's weird, but just make sure it looks exactly like this. Oops, by mistake, I think I deleted the code over here, so I'll just insert it again. But in order for this to work, we need one more thing. So scroll down to the bottom, click on page, and then click on this plus icon, and then container. So now we have a new container here underneath, and it's automatically inside page, as you can see here. Great. Rename this container section, and over here inside height, let's give it VH and set it to 100 so it's full width. You can see here. Then go to advanced and give it a CSS class. So I'll go back to resources and close code and open classes and find promo section and copy it. Then go back and insert it here. Then inside this container, we'll add a new container. So I click up here at the plus icon and drag that in, and go directly to advanced and scroll down to CSS classes. Go back and copy the next class. This one, promo header wrapper. Then I'll just insert it here. Inside this container, we need a heading. So I go to the plus icon and then drag in a heading and write responsive websites that feels premium. Change this to H1, go to style and change the font. I will set it to this by Jumper G and set the font size to 67 and make sure the weight is 600. Then go back to content and inside the middle of the sentence, make sure to add this BR so it's on another line. Go ahead and duplicate this heading so we can use it to a subheading. I'll just write this and change this to H2 and set the font size to 16. Great. Then let's add a new widget, the text editor, and drag it in here at the bottom. Let's just use this lorem ipsum and go inside advanced and only change the custom width so it's 50. And then go inside style and just customize the font so it's the same one, and change the weight to 500 and center everything. Then underneath this, we need to add some code. This will be our trigger, so the scroll trigger would be activated. So go inside the plus icon and search for HTML and drag it in. Then let's go to the resource link and close this down and find code and scroll all the way down to HTML button and copy this part and go back and insert it here. It looks a bit weird here inside the editor, but don't worry about that. So scroll up and click at the plus icon and search for icon and drag a new icon up here. We want it to look like this, and then change the icon to arrow down, and inside style we will change the color and choose this pen so it's the same color as the red one up here, and go inside advanced and inside padding untoggle this and give it 100 at the top and 120. Alright, so now we only need the JavaScript code and one container. So let's just close all of these down so we have a better overview, and click on page. Great, and then go inside the plus icon here and search for HTML and just click on it. Now it's inserted here automatically. So go back to the resource link and scroll down and click copy and then insert it here. Great, click page and then click add element and just click container. This container should just have a CSS ID this time. So go to the resource link, scroll up and find classes. And as you can see here, this is the only ID. So copy this one and go back and insert it here. Okay, so let's click publish and view page. Okay, it's not working and I actually know why, because we made a small mistake. This code should be all the way at the bottom. So let's try again, publish, view page, and there you go. I really love this animation. So now it's working. Great job so far. This was the main part of the design. But this tutorial ended up being longer than expected, so the rest of the design is going to be in a separate video. So click here to watch the last part or find the link in the description below.